look infected. Oh, hey, we're on there. Hey, guys. Welcome back to the DJ Preps Football Preview Show, September 16th edition, or Week 3 for MHSAA schools. I'm Brad Locke. This is Dillon Barnes, and we are back to look at some big games coming up this Friday in the Daily Journal coverage area. Before we do anything, of course, we need to thank our amazing sponsor, Pizza Doctor, in Tupelo over at Midtown Point. Did I get it right, John Luke? Midtown Point? Yeah. They got I got this Alfredo chicken pizza. It looks really good. Haven't tried it yet. I'll give y'all a quick review after I take a bite. 2 thumbs up. Okay. So, let's jump right into it. Dillon, let's look at last week's predictions. We did much better.
Yeah.
Than week 1,
Yeah.
when we went 0-3. We both went 2-1 last week, so that puts us both at 2-4 overall, tied. And so you're still hanging with me for now.
Yeah.
Dolphin usually had trouble.
Yeah.
I think I beat him. I know I beat him last year. Pretty sure I beat him the year before. So we'll see how we do this week. We've got, of course, 3 games to watch. So we're going to go through the keys to each of those games. Then we'll make predictions. And then later on, we'll have the Double Trouble Award that still needs a better name, but that's all we got. So the first game to watch, we got Houston at Pontotoc, a couple of teams with 1-1 records. This is usually a pretty good game, Dillon, most years. They play every year, early in the season. So the first key to the game, can Pontotoc match up with Shamar Crawford? Of course, he's the wide receiver for Houston. He's off to a really fast start, and I figured he would be one of the better playmakers in the area. John Luke, you've seen Pontotoc. Can the secondary, can they contain him?
I think so. They don't have a lot of bodies or depth there, but they've used some different looks to contain 2 different types of passing attacks the first 2 weeks.
Okay. Key number 2, will Red Parker keep up his strong play? That's the quarterback for Houston. I think he's thrown for 488 yards in 2 games. Last year he kind of struggled as a passer, and I thought that would be a big key for them this year. And so far, he's off to a really good start. So we'll see if him and Crawford can hook up a few times. And then key number 3, can we reach a consensus on what a hilltopper is? John Macon Gillespie wants to know. Okay, our buddy on Twitter, he put this out the other day. He was in Houston for something, and he was like, nobody really knows what a hilltopper is. If you go by the Western Kentucky mascot, it's a giant red blob. I don't think that's accurate. So
I think
Different hills, maybe.
I think most people try to just claim this like a ram, right? Like a mountain ram or something like that. I mean, when you think of, that's kind of what the logo, everybody uses that logo.
I guess so.
And Blue Mountain College, they're called just the toppers, not hill toppers, but they use like a ram logo too.
Just the toppers.
Yeah. Not hill toppers, just toppers. So.
Okay. Well, we do have a lot of hills around here.
Yeah.
Let's make the predictions. I'll go first on this one, Dillon. It's a tough one. Against John Luke's advice, I'm going to pick Houston. I want to say 24-22.
This one I struggle with really bad. I saw Houston play last week. Red Parker, Shamar Crawford, both are amazing duo, and even they got a freshman running back, Jalen Washington, that's really, really good too.
Right.
But Houston had 5 turnovers, and that's really stung them in the foot last week against Shannon. So if they can't cut down the turnovers, I guess I'm going to go with Pontotoc. I picked against Pontotoc week 1, and they proved me wrong. So I'll throw some love back out that way and say Pontotoc 28-21.
So y'all only have to be mad at me this week, Pontotoc, not both of us, like 2 weeks ago. Okay, next game, we got Kossuth at Corinth. 1-1 Kossuth, 1-1 Corinth. Corinth, of course, coming off that 24-23 loss at Olive Branch. They went for 2 late and didn't get it, but so they could just as easily be 2-0. Keys to the game. Key number 1 is the key. It's the number 1 key anytime you play Corinth. Can Kossuth slow down that wing T rushing attack? Which, they've got some guys with experience back like Nazarius Jones and Caden Betts, a new quarterback, but he seems to be running things pretty well. Bronner Regine. So I don't know if Kossuth has anything for them defensively, because a lot of teams don't. Key number 2 for Corinth: don't take Kossuth lightly. Okay, I mean it's a rival game, so I don't think they will. But this is a game they should win. But they got players over there like Zamarius Alexander, the big old running back, and the quarterback Brock Sego's off to a good start.
Yeah.
So that could end up being a shootout. Who knows?
Yeah. Rivalry games, you always got to take pretty serious because there's a lot of intensity that you'll have to match one way or the other. So
Right, exactly. And then finally, key number 3: are Aggies comfortable on fake grass? The Kossuth Aggies. I mean, they're all about agricultural stuff and natural grass, and Corinth has that field turf.
I believe before the school name changed to Kossuth, I may be wrong, so somebody can correct me, but I'm pretty sure it was called Alcorn Agricultural High School.
That sounds right to me.
I think so. That's what it used to be called, and that's where the nickname Aggies comes from. So,
right.
I don't know how comfortable they'll be on artificial turf. So,
well, they probably don't play on it that often.
No,
so
can't.
It's sort of a half serious question.
Yeah.
Prediction time. You go first this time, Dillon.
You just can't pick against the defending 4A state champs. I got Corinth, and I actually think they handle this pretty easily. I'll say Corinth 38-7.
Okay. I'll also pick Corinth. I think it could be surprisingly close for a while, so I'll say 34-20 Corinth in that one. Okay, finally, game number 3, East Union at East Webster. A couple of Class 2A non-division opponents that have started playing every year. East Union off to a 2-0 start. East Webster 1-1. Keys to the game. Key number 1: is there any stopping Colton Plunk, the 6'2", 215-pound running back for East Union?
I actually think I talked to Coach Lott this week. I actually think he's up to 225 now. So
wow.
He's a load.
Have fun tackling that guy. He's off to a good start. Hey, we got a story on him coming in tomorrow's Journal.
Right.
Check it out. Key number 2: can East Webster quarterback Stephen Betts kind of settle in? He missed the season opener with an injury. He came back last week against Choctaw County, but he threw 4 interceptions, which is not good. I think he ran for like 160 yards, but those turnovers killed him in that loss. And so if Betts can settle in and take better care of the ball, that could go a long way in helping East Webster win this one. And finally, key number 3: which team has the cooler nickname? I mean, they're probably the 2 coolest nicknames in the area. You got East Union Urchins, East Webster Wolverines. I'd go with Urchins. I think that's the best nickname in the whole area.
Hey, I don't know. It's a combination. I think Wolverines is a better nickname. I mean, how intimidating is a seahorse? Wolverine!
I'm not talking about I'm not.
Sorry.
And
I'm not talking about intimidation, just like the coolest mascot.
But there's also deduction points for having yellow and brown as your school colors. Like,
Yeah, well, I can't really argue with that. East Union people.
I'm not trying to, just saying.
All right, let's do the prediction on this one. So I'll go first. It's a tough one, man, but I like East Union. I like the way they run. I like the running game they've got, and East Webster still got some unknowns just with the way Betts played last week. You don't know what he'll be like this week. So I'll pick East Union 34-28.
Not so fast, my friend. I think you're right with Betts coming in, and last week with 4 interceptions, 4 turnovers. That can't happen. But I don't look for East Webster to really throw the ball that much, anyways, against East Union.
Mm-hmm.
Betts ran for 279 yards last year against East Union from this quarterback spot and had like 4 touchdowns from the ground. I think just as much as Plunk's alone, I think it's going to be tight back and forth. It's going to be who's better between Betts and Plunk. But I think Betts pulls it out in the end, and I think East Webster pulls away with a 35-28 win.
Dillon hating all over East Union.
No, I'm not trying to do that. Just predictions. Who knows?
Nothing personal, people. Yeah. Okay, so those are the games to watch. Lots more games, of course, going on in the area. You can find our pregame capsules in Friday's Journal and online at djournal.com for all those games. Let's wrap it up with the Double Trouble Award. Still need a better name. Y'all help us out. This week it goes to Jamarcus Shines and Santwali White of Shannon. Last week in the 40-32 overtime win over Houston, both those guys really shined on offense. Get it? Jamarcus Shines.
Yeah. Yay.
Shines is the quarterback. He was 11 of 19 for 145 yards passing, and he rushed for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns. And White, the running back, rushed for 196 yards and 3 touchdowns on 27 carries, and he scored the game-winning touchdown in overtime. So congrats to those guys.
Plus White had all 5 conversions. He
did all 5 2-point conversions.
All 5 2-point conversions. He rushed for 4 of them, and Shines hit him on the first one. So
Shannon don't need no stinking kicker.
Yeah, they don't need it. They didn't even try. So
that's right.
But yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's it for this episode of the DJ Preps Football Preview Show. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Come to you every week during the season to preview some big games, and also check out our Prep Rally podcast every Wednesday. You can find it in iTunes, any of your podcast apps, or online at preprally.djournal.com. Follow us on Twitter at djournalpreps. I'm on there at Brad Block. He's at Dillon Barnes DJ. There we go.
Yeah.
And thank you again to Pizza Doctor in Tupelo, Midtown Point. Check him out. This Alfredo chicken pizza is divine. We'll see y'all next week.